Hello everyone, and today we have probably my favourite series of merchandise in the Thomas section. We have the very rare ERTL Gold Rail, which is quite hard to find, and I'm very lucky to have as much as I do now. So you've got a real treat for you today. So, in the collection that I've got, I have Edward, Clarabelle, Annie, Bill, The Foolish Freight Car, and Percy. So, what you'll be able to notice straight away is that these toys are American. How can you tell? The Foolish Freight Car gives it away instantly. We'd say Troublesome Truck over here where I live, but Foolish Freight Car is an Americanism. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that lets you know the regional identity that's within that. So without further ado, we'll start taking a look at everything. So I think we'll be looking at the very first model that I collected in the ERTL Gold Rail collection series. And it's none other than Edward. I think it's only fair considering he was one of the main characters in the 3 railway engines. So, this Edward is absolutely stunning. Just look at that detail. Have you ever seen something like that? An absolutely perfect replication of what you would see in the TV series. Absolutely perfect. What's interesting is how you can see, let me just angle that better, there you are, is how slits were carved right across his boiler, so he inserted a plastic golden sheet to act as handrails. I think that's very clever. And then you can see he doesn't actually have any side rods. In the Bandai range from Japan, he does. All the engines do. I don't know why it's different like that, but it just is. The magnetic system works like so. Once I've reviewed all the engines, I'll show you how that works. There is not much interior cab detail, if at all any, but you can't really see much inside there, so I think it's fine. A nice touch though is how the coal is actually moulded separately. On ERTL trains it's usually just painted in because that's just part of the tender mould, but here it's different. It's plastic, and they just slotted it in after they cast Edward's mould in the factory. And I don't know if you can see this, it's right under there, some licensing information. It actually says Dyersville, Iowa, which is a state in the Midwestern US of A. So you can tell all these toys come from America, and a great way of telling is if you know your Thomas series pretty well, you'll be fairly familiar with Shining Time Station, which was the US spin-off of the series, introducing Mr. Conductor and all of his friends in the station. So yeah, there's Edward, fantastic model. We'll move on to the next one now, which is the Foolish Freight Car. Here's the Foolish Freight Car. There is actually another freight car as well, which you can actually see its eyes as it's laughing, but I'm afraid that was not available. So there we are, carrying some sort of tarpaulin load. It does not come out, it doesn't, it's stuck in there. And it's very light, it's the lightest I've ever known for a rolling stock piece to be in the Thomas & Friends range of any merchandise. Again, the same magnetic system, and if I point it there for you, you can see how it moves around, triggering the system. An interesting thing to note is the couplings. They look fairly delicate, which is the only problem with these. I dread to think what would happen with rough play, but oh well. Let's move on to the next one. Actually, I'll show you all the boxes later. I was going to show the boxes, but I'm not. It's our favourite little green engine, Percy. Percy again is quite heavy. An interesting thing you can see is the magnet compartment just underneath the bunker. Again, stunning detail, absolutely stunning detail. There's a slight chip on his cab window, but other than that he's fine. Again, all brass work that you would see on the TV models are all just plastic gold. The coal again is a plastic mould done separately, I think. And the same magnetic system again, so I'll let you have a good look at him there. There we go. There we go. Moving on to the next one, I think we will choose Bill. Admittedly, I do not have Ben, unfortunately. I would have bought him, but it's quite expensive. These engines that I've all bought come from the States, and well, postage and packaging rates are quite high, but we won't focus on that. So I think Bill looks absolutely stunning. Absolutely fantastic. Yep, that has happened in transit when he was coming to where I live. Bit unfortunate, but you know, it doesn't bother me too much. But I'm not surprised when you look at the other side how thin that piece of plastic is that it's happened. The detailing on the other hand is wonderful. You can actually read Brendan Bay very clearly. Very, very, very accurate representation of what you'd see in the TV series. Except for this, the back has nothing going for it, it's just plain. Again, you'll see the handrail slit that's been carved inside the metal mould of the boiler. I think it's brilliant though, I think it's absolutely stunning. So there's Bill for you all to see. There you are. Now I'll move on to the last of my rolling stock. And admittedly also I do not have Thomas either. For the number 1 engine, he's excessively hard to find in this range. Mint in condition and new in box. So here we've got Annie. And what's very nice is how you can see just behind the windowsill, I can't actually touch it, but you have all these detailings of the passengers, and I actually think it's perfect. It's really one of those little details that you would not see in toys of today, these toys being produced in the 90s. Yeah, again, accuracy never fails. Got the same magnet. I think Annie is absolutely stunning in terms of a coach. I think she's brilliant. Clarabelle is identical, except for the face, of course. Got the same story going on with detailings, which I think is wonderful. Although she's not got much of a compartment for luggage, but we'll ignore that. And got the same magnetic story going on right there. Camera's not focusing today. So, that's my entire collection that I've got. So here's Edward's box. I think it looks very nice. Clarabelle's box. I think Annie's description is more or less the same here. Bill's box. Seeing this box makes me really want to get Ben. Pity that. Here's the Troublesome Trucks description here. Or the Foolish Freight Car. And Percy at long last. So, thank you very much for watching everyone, and I hope you enjoyed this review on the ERTL Gold Rail series.